smoke, they ride the tide. Bikini assassins with nowhere to hide. Explosives buzzing like a neon light. Guns blazing, glory the all of night. Action's calling, adrenaline rush. Get ready for the thrill and a powerful crush. Guns, bikinis, living on the edge. Explosive moments that we made our pledge. Fighting for justice in this beautiful haze. In the heart of the action, we'll set it ablaze.
All right, we're here for night one of Sidaris September. I've got to give you my official greeting. Live stream for those who are watching on demand at Binge Movies, Lives, Podcast, YouTube, whatever it is. I want to say, give a hearty howdy, home video freaks, space cowboys, and those of you who've stumbled your way into the last remaining bastion of cinematic culture worth a damn. I'm talking about Sidaris September, night one here at the last video store in the universe, where the VHS rentals are still free on weekends, and the floors are sticky for nostalgic authenticity. Tonight we're diving headfirst into one of Andy Sidaris' most brain-boggling masterpieces of explosions, bikinis, gratuitous weaponry, guns. Released in 1990, when they still thought guns could solve everything, and no one ever asked why every single beach needed a sniper rifle. I am joined, as always, by the illustrious, I want to say eponymous. That's true already. Illustrious, inventive, interesting, quirky, the weird girl you know, the weird girl you love. I love her too. Margaret, Madame Molly Raz. How are you? Welcome back.
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Jason?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better now that I see your smiling face again. And we need to do a team up where we go out and try to procure ourselves some muscle mommies.
Exactly.
Where do we go? Where can we find some bisexual muscle mommies? That way the odds are at least even between us.
Probably the gym. Best place to go.
Okay, all right. So we'll start hitting the gym. What about tennis opens? A lot of bisexuals go to tennis opens?
There are a lot of more straight people playing tennis than I expect, honestly. There's no Billie Jean Kings anymore. It's just it is so heterosexual, and I'm just like, where are the lesbians? Where are the gay tennis players like there used to be? Where's the Billie Jean Kings? And
there are no more Billie Jean Kings, bro.
No. There was literally a book about it written by the same author who did Ruby Fruit Jungle about how everybody had playing tennis is a lesbian, and that doesn't exist anymore. It's the 80s. It only exists in the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. We got to go to where the buys are. You know?
Oh, no, I know.
I guess it's the gym where you can train back buys with buys, right? So
very true.
There we go. We got to find you a nice, beefy, meaty lesbian to slip you on her thighs, and a nice muscle mommy for me as well. That's the goal here.
Yes.
So we kicked off VHS Summer 4 with talking about some films of Andy Sidaris. We covered Malibu Express, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Picasso Trigger, and help me with the last one, Savage Beach. And we had so much fun together. We said, when summer is beginning to sunset, it's not quite over yet. I don't care what Molly says on Twitter. I don't want to hear it. Keep your sweaters, keep your cardigans in your goddamn closets. I'm not here for it. VHS Summer rolls on, but it's getting near the end. The equinox hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. We wanted to cap off VHS Summer 4. We're talking about 4 more Sidaris flicks. Of course, we're talking about guns tonight. We're going to show back up here at some point next weekend. Molly and I have to talk offline to figure our schedules out. And we'll post about it on this week on Twitter at Binge Movies. Molly, where can they follow you on Twitter? See where
they can follow me at raspberryraz.com at Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram as well, even though I don't really post as much on Instagram. So yeah,
I've been begging
mostly
you to
Twitter.
I've been begging you to get into TikTok, and you don't want to do it.
I am just really bad at it. I remember I did like one Vine or something like that, and then I was
you would have crushed on Vine. No,
I
you would have
did
crushed.
work with one of a Vine celebrity. He was actually the manager at the movie theater I worked at. If you ever saw the Vine of that guy watching his mom doing the mac and cheese, he's like, "That's what good pussy sounds
Yes,
like."
you knew that guy.
Yes, Muhammad.
Oh my god,
Muhammad Zahora.
Yo, my god!
Shout out to former coworker right there. Yes,
And that went fucking viral, man. Everybody was like, "Do the macaroni and cheese challenge with your mom."
yeah.
That came
Oh yeah.
from
He's like,
him.
"I'm so tired of this."
Oh yeah. Well, you're much better at being succinct than I am. I'm verbose.
Yes.
You're succinct. You're smart. I'm okay. I'm smart adjacent, but together we make a hell of a team. I'm the cash to your Eric Estrada. I forget the fuck his name is in this. We'll get into it. You're the Jack of Diamonds. I guess the Jill of Diamonds, maybe, or maybe Jack and Jill of Diamonds. And I'm just the Queen of Hearts, I guess. We're gonna get into it. Let's start off here with guns. Give me 3 adjectives to describe Guns, the 1990 Andy Sidaris flick.
All right, so probably the first one. I almost wanted to say sensual, but that was it's not that sensual.
It isn't. No, let's recount that motorcycle scene. We'll get to it.
Oh yeah, that one was actually pretty good. But
did you
I guess
notice the
silly
nips?
would
Did you notice the nipple
silly
on
would
that
be one of the
motorcycle?
words I would use.
Yeah, well.
Speaking of an S word, not shitty. I surprisingly not shitty.
Surprisingly not shitty. I'm with you.
I was expecting it to to be more like Picasso Trigger, like
Me too.
really boring, but this one actually entertained me. And
Yeah,
so I
me
was
too.
Like, it does not get in that.
Yeah.
Not get into that. Scantily clad. I guess you could also. I could say, even though I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure that would really count.
Mine are explosive, busty, and doped. The first 2 are predictable. The third, I say doped because both on the funny front and sad front. On the funny front, I say doped because my boy Brown is juiced to the fucking gills in this movie. Absolutely fucking juiced.
I'm so glad to see him back.
Yes. And I say the whole family was there. The whole family was there. Then -1. And then
no Michael Andrews, rest in peace.
Well, -2. No, Michael Andrews, rest in peace. He passed away before this one. And then who the fuck was the girl who kept stealing the shit at the end of the movies? Donna's partner.
Oh, she was gone. Yeah, no, she's not there. Yeah,
she's gone. She's been replaced by this other one.
No Taryn. Yep.
No Taryn.
Yeah. Replaced by the one who played Panthara in.
Yes.
And yes. Who I believe I remember saying like she's a little too good for this movie. I think the exact same thing for this one. She's giving too good of a performance for this material.
I agree. And also doped is, and I say this sadly, Donna Spear, who is very muted in this movie.
She is.
And
I think she's getting. I think she's just getting strained from it, which is sad because we actually have a plot relevant part with her where it brings up her dad, and her dad is not just brought up as like a left hanging. We actually get an answer.
I know, and the thing is, the thing about it is that, what the fuck is the word I want to use? She wrote a book. She wrote like a biography about this, and she was heavily abusing alcohol and pills during this time of her life. And you can kind of tell because her face is kind of gaunt. The toplessness is sort of half-hearted. And it's just even we'll get to the ass kicking side, the ninja scene, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Just didn't. It didn't.
I also felt she aged a little bit with.
I think that's the drug,
with the addiction. Which, and I was surprised. I looked up the actress who played her mom, who was in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, okay.
Phyllis Diner or something like that, and I saw they had a 24-year age gap. I'm like, wait, what? She looks only like 5 years older. Her mom.
I know. Yeah. It was rough. Yeah. So the cast in this movie is Eric Estrada from TV's Chips. If you understand that reference, it is about time to apply for AARP. Eric Estrada plays the Jack of Diamonds, as Heather in the chat says. Dega. You don't pronounce the S. He is the antagonist he's the heel of the movie. Another ethnically ambiguous arms dealer. Donna is back as Donna. Donna
Mhm.
with one N is back as Donna with two N's. I feel like she gets a last name for the first
Yeah,
time.
she does Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
She
Which
finally
is
gets the last name in this one.
that a Linda Hamilton reference? Is that a George Hamilton reference? Why Hamilton? I don't know. We'll
I
have to
don't
ask,
know.
what's his face's widow. Cynthia Brimhall is back as Edie, but is
Mhm.
this version of Edie is like a completely different character than the one who owned the
Yeah,
restaurant,
yeah.
right?
Mhm. She really does feel
She's like
quite
a
different.
sexy
Yeah.
lounge singer. I feel like
Mhm.
her breasts are bigger,
Yeah.
and she's credited as actually singing the songs that she
Yeah.
performs in the movie.
Mhm. I just wish the songs were better because her voice is not bad.
Their voice is not bad, but the songs are
Mhm.
not good.
Yeah.
We've got Devin DeVasquez as
Yeah.
Cash. She's the
Mhm.
new Panthera.
Yeah,
Bruce
doing this one.
Penhall is back as Bruce Christian, and Michael J. Shane is back as Shane Abilene, who, of all the Abilene boys in all of their roles in all the movies, there are like there doesn't need to be any more Abilenes. Like he does
No,
nothing.
it really feels like, especially this one, you're like, oh, he didn't really need to be here. He barely is into the plot, and then he barely has any characterization. So when you're watching him, you're like, oh, I forgot you're in Abilene. Oh, that's why you're so special.
I know this started off as the Abilene franchise, but we've got off that train a long time ago. This is the Donna show. This is the Donna.
It is the Donna
Molokai
show
cargo crew. And we get an Ocean's 11 version of him in this movie. The other heavy of the movie is Danny Trejo. Yes, that Danny Trejo as Tong.
7 years into his career after his first film, and he gets speaking roles in this one. He technically, in Wikipedia, if you look at, he's like the 5th credited person on Wikipedia. Like, this is a major role for him when he was getting this, and it's still surprising me. Like, wait, he was in his 40s when he was this, because he's 80 now.
Yeah, it's wild. Linda London reprises her role as Rocky. We get no Patty Cakes, though. And Patty Cakes was a personal favorite of mine for two particular reasons. She does not appear in this movie. I think our girl Edie is picking up the slack from Patty Cakes with a certain enhancement. But Linda London as Rocky dies. They kill her. I know.
They brought her back just to kill her off.
After like 2-3 movies, they kill Rocky.
I
didn't understand it. Yeah. So if you want to know what the plot of this is, very loosely, I would say the plot is a crime lord responsible for DEA agent Donna Hamilton's father's death. Is not her grandpa. It's not a Japanese soldier on a hidden island somewhere else. No, this is her father's death. And it's her, not her partner, and is now targeting her and her big-breasted friends. Is that fair enough? Encapsulation.
Indeed, it was going to go after Nicole. Nicole was actually supposed to be the one, but they wore the same dress.
That's right.
And had brunette hair, and that's why the hired goons mistook her, took her for Rocky for Nicole.
That's important. This entire thing revolves around a dress made of legging material, which those dresses were a thing in the 90s, in the late 80s and 90s. So
the 80s never truly ended till at least the middle of the 90s.
Oh, until at least 93, 94. Yeah. So we get another ethnic arms dealer who has a personal history and vendetta with the protagonist. And this takes me back to the theory we posited with the first 4 films, which you and I came to the same conclusion. This is the Fast and Furious series before the Fast and Furious series. Is this not?
It really is. Except no babies in this one.
Not yet, but we got 3 more to go.
That's true. There could be a baby now. Baby in an airplane fight right now.
There could be. Donna eschews her mother and says, I'm not cut out for that job or something like that. And she's like, I know. Because her mom just wants her to settle down by a nice Christian man.
Why don't you settle down and have babies?
And
she's just like, I'm not doing that. It's just.
Why don't you start going to a nice Presbyterian church and have a couple of kids?
Yes, and just like, oh man, what a bitch. And Donna just says, that bitch is my mother. And you're like, what? You never they never act like it in the entire scene until that moment.
that mother is a real bitch. That bitch is my mother.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so strange.
And it's her line reading of it is so lifeless. Like, that bitch is my mother.
Yeah. So
Like,
again,
and that's the best take you can do. Okay.
part-time. The Fast and Furious connection is every movie we get new family members, either literal biological blood or spiritual blood.
Yes.
The only difference is I don't think well, not in the meta context of the movie, but in the meta sense of the real world, a villain coming back to play a hero. So we had Panthera, or whatever the hell her name was, who is now the new partner.
Nicole, yes.
Yeah, who's now Nicole. So it's a different character, but same actress. Yeah. So I was surprised about this movie for a variety of reasons. It has the same old tired plot points, right? Ethnic arms dealer who's got the personal vendetta, like we talked about. China, we went from Russia to China because now it's the 90s. Little did we know, the Cold War never ended. Hail Hydra.
No.
We didn't realize we elected a Russian asset as a president, or we would in the not too distant future. We thought it was over. We thought China was the only one to worry about. Little did we know.
And for the audience out there, we are not Timcast. We are not being paid for this by any Russians. We are not. No.
As you can see, I am not wearing a beanie in the middle of summer. I am not a Russian asset.
As you can see, I do not have a katana or revolvers behind my dressing. No, I do not have fascist signifiers behind me.
Neither one of us went to Moscow and talked about how great the bread was and how the grocery stores are so much better there and we should all live there. And
no one of us has tried to undermine Ukraine.
None of us have said that they are an enemy of the people, that we have to. So instead, we've been watching skin flicks from Skinamax.
We are not getting paid for this, or at least I'm not. And I am just happy to do this because this is fun.
If the estate of the Sidaris estate is offering me money to make these films more relevant, I can either confirm or deny. And if the Sidaris estate has ties to certain Russian oligarchs, that's between them and the good Lord. Okay. There's an iron curtain. I mean, a separation between me and whatever's going on over there in the motherland. I mean, Russia. So we get Don and the gang travel. We're as much as we love to see Molokai, it's very clear that Sidaris wants to get the fuck off of Molokai.
He's like, I'm getting bored with this. Let's do, and like he opens it with Vegas. I'm like, oh, we're going to a different place now.
Now that's where the change comes in. Here's where the notable elements to me come in. Okay, it's 27 minutes before we see boobs. He's really restrained on the nudity for a long time in this movie. Then we get the 3 scenes of just tits, and then an awkward Eric Estrada sex scene a little bit later with some quarter of a tit. And I was like, I honestly thought for the longest time, the moment happened, I thought of you, when Donna and Nicole are taking their tops off at the back of the plane, and we see no nudity, barely any side boob.
I know.
I thought there's a chance there's no boobs in this movie.
Yeah.
Did you think?
No, especially in Vegas?
Right.
No boobs?
Did you think?
And showgirls? No.
Did you think there was a chance that we would get cleavage but no nips in this film?
I thought there could have been, but I was like, no, this is Las Vegas. There's no way. There's no way. And and we got it. He just took his sweet time.
Yeah, he introduces a new character called Hugs Higgins. I don't know what the other woman's name is. And they end up showing their boobs. And Edie shows her boobs, I think for the first time in the series.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I have to imagine the enhancement was to show her Cynthia Brimhall to. I don't remember her ever showing her boobs before. She might have, but we've seen so many boobs, right, Molly? I mean, my God.
I know. We just lost count. We just lost
it's countless breasts.
Yes.
But it's like it's one of those Sidaris, like it's the first shot of naked breast in this movie is a comedy beat, right? It's like a punchline to a joke where she comes out from behind the privacy, room divider, and her boobs are just out, and there's a punchline to a joke, and then she just stands there.
Yep.
and then they just look at her, and then it cuts back to her, and we look at her breasts for a few seconds, and then it cuts to, of course, two women with giant boobs blathering themselves in the shower.
Yes.
That's where Hugs Higgins comes in, and
I was kind of surprised with the oil wrestling scene that they actually had their boobs covered. I was like,
I was too. There's a lot of jiggling, but I thought for sure like something's
I was like, at least
off.
it's oil and like canola oil and not mud. So it's just okay then. Okay, then.
Heather in the chat says there are more boobs in the special feature discussion with Sidaris for this movie than the movie itself.
Gotta buy the Blu-ray now. I know it has a Blu-ray release. IMDb has it as a picture on their screenshots.
Yeah, Heather's got
Blu-ray,
the Blu-ray
DVD.
Yeah. Heather's got the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I was then surprised, like you brought up, they actually went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And they shot at least exteriors at the actual Rio, rest in peace. And they actually got Edie's name on the marquee.
Yeah, they did.
That, of course, was probably like 2:00 in the morning, but it doesn't matter. Vegas never sleeps.
Yeah.
They're like, I hate to say that it's enough for me to like this movie more than the last couple, but the first session of this was we ascended, we peaked, and then we cratered, right? After Hard Ticket to Hawaii, we were bored to tears.
Yeah.
Then we come back to this movie, and I was like you, just kind of stunned that it was this. I don't want to say good, but how would you describe? Like, what did you feel about the movie? What took you by surprise? What was notable to you?
I was just like, wait, real good camera angles here? Actually good editing going on? Because usually it's just the editing is not very good, and it's just with the action, it becomes a dull moment. Like the bombs were just like, I'm getting bored just watching bombs going because there's no dynamic camera angles. There's no cuts that you need to have. Yeah. But this one was much better. And I was just with the editing and the camera angles, I'm like, did he have more of a budget in this? Or is he finally learning how to actually do this and actually make the action feel a bit captivating to watch and entertain us? And I think it might be a mix of both.
I think so too. Heather says that Sidaris, who was alive at the time, presumably, unless they summoned his corpse, unless necromancy was involved here. He mentions that he thought it was important to spread out and move to new locations for the film series, and they did that in Picasso Trigger to no effect. I fucking hated it.
Yeah,
in this movie,
the worst one.
Yeah, we get Lake Havasu and the London Bridge in Lake Havasu, Arizona. And we get Vegas, and we get Molokai, and we get a couple other places. And I don't know. I thought it was charming in a way. We're back to drag, though. This is another common trope. Only
with bad drag, and you're just, if only Michael Andrews was still alive. He could have actually taught these goons how to contour.
The Heights. You know that one of those goons is in Dog Day Afternoon.
No, I did not.
He plays like what's the character's name? He plays the boyfriend of, I think, one of the bank tellers that's trapped in the bank.
Oh.
Like Maria or Mary or something like that. Because I recognized him. I was like, oh my God. The other guy looks like John Saxon's son. He looks like a little John Saxon. So I thought maybe he was related to him. I didn't find a connection. But the other guy that was really familiar to me is in Dog Day Afternoon as like a bit player, you know.
Yeah, just bit players. Some of these people were bit players. The guy who played Jack of Diamonds was in an Academy Award winning film. I'm just trying to remember which one it was.
Are you talking about Eric Estrada?
Yeah, he was in some good stuff. Yeah.
He was in
he was in some good stuff.
I can't imagine. Heather would be able to tell us, but Heather, what Academy Award-winning film was Eric Estrada in?
He was just like an extra, like a bit player really early on. I'm trying to see.
I'm going to tell you something.
Because he's been around since 1970. He's had a long career.
He was a heartthrob. He was a television heartthrob. And
I see the picture. Like,
I watched Chips reruns on TBS when I was a child. Andy Griffith, Chips, Gilligan's Island, and all that shit. And so I'm familiar with Chips. and I thought he was okay.
Oh
He's
no, it
past-
wasn't an Academy Award, but it was with an Academy Award winning actress. He was in Silent Movie, Mel Brooks's film.
Oh, was he
The guy was
really?
Anne Bancroft at the restaurant
Wow.
in Silent Movie, Mel Brooks's film.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's so good.
This is a hot take. I think Eric Estrada is fucking terrible in this movie.
I actually thought he was better than some other people, but
Well, he's better than Roberto Ortega or whatever the guy's name, Oberon Rodrigo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, he's better than that guy. That guy's the shits. But I thought he was terrible.
You can definitely tell he felt I am way better than this material, and he was not going to have fun with it. Like a bunch of other people who are hired who are definitely better than material, and they're like, I'm going to have fun with this.
Yeah.
Like the Jeremy Irons effect right there.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did not do that. No.
No, I agree with you. He didn't. There was no. He was not having fun. He was.
No.
He seemed embarrassed to be in the movie. You could like feel his shame, and maybe that's why I don't know. I just didn't like.
Imagine that his henchmen would become more famous than him. With Danny Trejo would become way more famous and be a multi-million-dollar star.
Have his own
film franchise with Machete.
Yeah.
I know. I don't think he expected that. And he plays like this, and Danny Trejo plays, they call him a Fu Manchu sort of guy. And I'm just like, is he supposed to be Asian in this movie? Or is it just because of his mustache he never shaves?
Well, they've always played around with that, right? Like, were they like, oh, well, this character is vaguely pretending to be Asian. They have an Asian name, but they're really Latino, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, they've done that multiple times.
Yeah, they have. I was surprised that Sifu was played by a Chinese actor. I was just like, oh, someone not in yellowface. Thank goodness we're not doing that again. I think that was only done in like the second or the first film. I think it was, and then every other time it was Asian actors hired. Yeah.
I need you to tell me, Heather, who lost their virginity to who? I don't understand that. And then Arlene apparently was a big part of Guns. And that goes back to our theory that Arlene Sidaris is the difference between when the movies are coherent and not.
Yes.
Remember, we were like, when she's prominently features writer or producer or whatever, the movies are better. When she's just an executive producer, the movies are shit.
Yeah.
So I think Arlene is the special sauce. Like it took the lecherousness of Andy and the, dare I say, feminist perspective of Arlene to come together,
or at least sort of progressive. If not entirely feminist.
Yeah.
I mean, because Donna's telling her mom just right there, I'm not doing that. I'm not cut out for that line of work, with saying you need to settle down and be a mom and have kids.
She doesn't want to be a mom. She wants to be a kick-ass DEA agent. She wants to have that rocket gun. In the
80s, that was the big push. And Reagan was just like, was Reaganite entertainment, the nuclear family is paramount, was a huge part of that entertainment. And she's saying, no, I'm not going to be a mom. I'm going to be a secret agent. I am going to do this. I'm like, you go, Donna. You keep being his agent.
Oh, apparently Eric Estrada lost his virginity to Cash. Presumably before this movie, because Eric Estrada was like 40 when he made this, but it could have been a 40-year-old virgin.
But hopefully. I mean, the 40-year-old virgin, there are a lot more virgins around than you'd think, than a lot of people realize.
A lot more eunuchs, too. The way that he was touching her breast in that scene, in that movie, the Eric Estrada sex scene, if you told me he was a virgin, I would believe it. But I can't believe the amount of women that were throwing themselves at Estrada in the 70s that he never cupped a breast before in his life. I mean, total virgin.
Maybe he was uber Catholic or something like that, and he was just like, I am not doing that till I get married or something like that. And he just didn't get married for the longest time.
Good point.
Just conjecture.
Just conjecture. Eric, we're not questioning your loyalty to America, to democracy, or your sexual prowess. Okay.
Yes.
Wherever you are. Some highlights for me: the absolutely unforeseen Picasso trigger callback.
Yes.
Where Abe flashes back as he's interrogating two random goons to Picasso trigger, to the FBI agents who got blown up outside of Vegas, if you remember, in their car by some other bad guys. And one of the bad guys, the guy that he's interrogating, he's like, that FBI agent or whatever, that agent was my brother. And what's the difference between negotiating with terrorists and close-up magic or whatever it is? So we terrorists and close-up magicians. You can negotiate with a terrorist. And he pulls out a shotgun and kills both of them. Chuck McCain is doing, before the movie, is doing Elliot Gould from the Oceans movies, the Soderbergh films, before Elliot Gould. And he does close-up magic and blows people away with shotguns, and it fucking ruled.
And apparently he was on vacation, and they just like, and he was just like, and they just asked him like, "Hey, would you like to be a part of this film?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
Oh, he had like a real career up until he just passed a few years ago. He had like a real career. He ended up doing voiceover work and video games, but he was like an actual actor in television and movies. And he's just, they just reached out to him. It's like, "Hey, we're shooting a movie. You want to come out?" And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And he ends up, he's having a blast as opposed to Estrada. This guy brings life to every scene that he's in.
He really does.
Up to and including him getting drunk in a fishing boat and getting blown the fuck up.
When he's just like, "Get me a beer," and she just sends a toy fishing boat to him, and he just takes the beer with the tab out, but the tab is connected to the pen of a dynamite.
And he goes, "Oh no, boom!" Boom. And then when the head FBI or DA guy gets there, he's like, "Abe's in
Grenade,
pieces."
that's the name.
Yeah, Abe's been blown to bits about 100 yards from here.
I love what his Abe the Great, the yacht is called. I'm like, I like that better than Malibu Express to call your yacht.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Which Abe got treated worse, Abraham Lincoln or Abe the Great in this movie? Would you rather be shot in the head at the theater or blown up by a little RC boat bringing you beer while you fish?
Honestly, I'd rather be blown up because Abe actually took a couple hours to die after being shot, because technically he was shot April 14th and he died the morning of April 15th at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Pete, who's in the chat, strikes me as a guy who'd like to be blown up rather than be shot in the head. And I think I'm with Pete. Pete, how'd you like to die? Leave a comment in the chat of how you like your death to be. Oh, 100% wants to be blown up. Yeah. If you're watching this later on YouTube,
feel it.
If you're crushed by a woman, he says, yes. If I have two ways to go, put into a vice grip of thighs, as Molly said in one of the previous episodes, where it feels dangerous and just asphyxiate.
It's like the guy from the Salem witch trials, Giles Corey, but instead of a giant rock and him saying "more weight," it's a giant woman.
It's a giant muscly woman.
More weight.
That's right.
Rest in peace, Giles Corey.
Rest in peace. I need a muscle mommy. Die by thigh or blown to smithereens.
Yes.
So if you're watching this on demand on our YouTube channel, I want you to smash that like button and then comment down below of how you'd like to die. Okay, back to the show. My favorite line in this movie is, I got a couple, but my absolute favorite is, "I was a 17-year-old orphan when I met a guy who wanted to take care of me," and then she goes up from there. Nicole is in a leather bikini on a motorcycle in the desert with a very small man who's straddling her, who is the way this is shot, the motorcycle looks 3 times the size of the man on the motorcycle. It's fucking bizarre. He looks like a little person on a motorcycle, and it looks like he's seeing and touching breasts for the first time. But when she says, "I was a 17-year-old orphan," a 17-year-old orphan. When you're 17, you're basically an adult. You don't get to be an orphan at 17.
In my state, you are an adult at 16. So
yeah, I mean, you live in the South, so they barely constitute orphans as people down there. Once you out of the womb, you don't got no rights anymore. But for real though, I wrote it back. I died laughing. She gets real like, "So, what's your story?" And she like sits up, and she's in a full black leather bikini in the fucking desert. And she's like, "Well, I was a 17-year-old orphan." 17-year-old orphan. She could have said like that. This is scripted. She couldn't have said I was 10, I was 12, I was 8, 17.
I think that would have been more funny if she says I was an 8-year-old orphan and it's just her at her age right there, just in the black bikini.
We go in the flashback.
Eight-year-old orphan. Like Pen 15 before Pen 15 became a show.
Yes. I loved the ninjas showing up at the gym.
Yes, just randomly showing up. And I thought at first they were the cross-dressing goons. So I was like, oh, cross-dressing goons who are also ninjas. And I was like, oh, no, it's different guys.
Yeah. And I love them kicking everybody's ass and the poorly choreographed fight scene. And I love Donna Spear finally has to show her boobs in this movie. And she looks so reluctant to do it. She looks so tired of taking her top off.
I know. She's so tired. She just got out of the dressing room and she's just in just like the thigh highs. She's in
just stockings and
thigh high stockings and underwear. And she's just like
pulls out a giant fucking Magnum and then barely has the heart to blow these guys away. She's benzoed out of her mind. And then they're like, she's like, bet you're glad I was. She says, hi. And they're like, hi-ya. And she's like, hi-ya, your ass. And then
hi-ya, your ass. And just like in the. Hi-ya, your ass.
She's like, I bet you're glad I was in the women's room or whatever. And then she walks away. And she is just. The fact that she is so lifeless in doing it, I don't want to make light of her substance problems at this time.
I know.
But the fact that she's so lifeless doing it makes it that much funnier.
It really does.
It's an incredible
She's like, I've seen
scene.
this all the time. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. She's like, when they finally pan around to her taking her top off, she is so tired of taking her bra off.
Yes.
The earlier movies, she's just letting them fly. She's popping her boobs at any chance.
Yeah.
She is really tired of getting naked on camera. Yeah. Were there any other like highlights for the movie for you that you just thought these are some of the best scenes?
So something that was accidentally a highlight for me is that I watch movies with subtitles. And so because the music is just so innocuous and just sonically generic, they actually added adjectives for it to describe how you're supposed to feel for the scene. And I made a list of that. So subtitles, troubled music, lazy music, suspicious music, commanding music, mysterious music, intrepid music, bewildered music, stealthy music, and perplexed music.
Somebody put in some work there. Yeah.
I know.
How do we bring
that subtitler was trying to have some fun.
How do we bring personality to this royalty-free music? Yeah.
I know, just like, oh, the music has to be conveying this because that's what the scene is right there. It's stealthy music. Let's go. But it's the same music as before. It's barely changed. It's stealthy.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of work, subtitler. What are you doing?
It's a lot of adjectives.
Also, I loved the really bad ADR after Nicole is killed. And she was just like, oh my God, she was just killed. Right there, that lady. Oh no. And you don't even see who this woman is speaking.
Yeah.
So you're this was just ADR'd. So you're just
she was just killed right over there. Oh no.
Some of the laziest automatic dub replacement I've heard. And I was just laughing, this woman. And I was just like, they did 20 takes, and that was the best one in the recording booth.
Yeah, try to make it sound a little bit more natural if you could. Could you, honey? Yeah, no problem. Oh no, she's dead over there, that lady.
And also, they didn't even put Nicole in a body bag. They just had her like this white sheet. So they put fake blood on there. So just like not even a body bag. So people are gonna see her body being rolled out with blood stains on there. Yeah. Just like, okay, then let's go with that. And also, I feel that not Nicole, Rocky. I feel also Rocky. She left because she's been really busy. She's still making movies. She's like in 5 movies a year and like these B movies.
Okay.
Like she's still working in 2024.
So you and I behind the scenes have had a brief conversation where you laughed at me and made jokes at my expense. Where we were trying to see if we could get one of these women to show up at one of these and record with them and ask them about one of these movies.
Mhm.
We've got to make this happen. I don't care
Yes.
if it's Patty Cakes. I don't care if it's Donna Spear. I don't care
Mhm.
if it's. I found Cynthia Brimhall's private Instagram account. She works at a makeup counter, which I didn't even know was still a job, out in some hoity-toity store in California.
Wow.
And she rarely posts there, but it's her. And she heavily filters her face to the point where she has no features. So yeah, she needs a daughter or somebody to help her tweak the settings. But she's out there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I have to get an IMDb Pro subscription. I don't know how it's going to happen. We have got to reach out to one of these women, and I have got to get Molly Raz and Donna Spear in the same call, and we've got to ask her about her experience with these movies. And I'm not doing it. I don't want to bring these women on to make fun of them. I don't want to belittle them at all.
No.
I don't want to oogle them. I don't want to be a creep towards them in any way. I am so interested in. They made so many of these movies together.
And in such a short span of time.
Yes. In such concentrated, Donna Spear had to just actually be living on Molokai or Honolulu, wherever they film it, because she was there for 7 years in a row.
Yes.
She only left to go film Picasso trigger scenes in somewhere else. They only left to go to fucking Vegas. Like, I need to know what her life experience was beyond the drugs. What was it like? What was he like? And I hope these were good experiences for them. And he
That's
wasn't
what I hope so.
a monster, because that would make all of this not fun anymore. But I don't know how to do it, but we need somebody help us. Somebody out there, find Donna, find Rocky, find any of these women, their real names, their fake names. I don't care. Find them all.
Yes.
If money has to be paid, we'll find a way of getting money in their hands for 30 minutes of their time. I want to know what went into these fucking movies. Yeah. So
I agree. I want to too as well. I want to hear about some of their experiences, if they actually had fun, because they look like they were having some fun.
Some of these movies, they look like they're having a blast. And I want to hear that. Yes.
Yeah.
One of my other favorite movies or favorite lines in the movie is at the very end when Estrada says, Shane Abilene fumble fucks his way into killing Danny Trejo by accident because, again, he still can't fire a gun.
Yep, with just like the hanging thing that you put the lights on. The light rig,
studios.
Light rig, yes. Yeah. It just like falls on him, and it's really fake looking Danny Trejo, just like almost decapitated. And I was like, no, Danny. I never called him tongue. I was like, Danny.
If the gun is a penis, is a metaphor.
Yes, it is. Which we had in the first song. It was just like, is she singing about a gun or a penis? That's probably the same.
It's the same for many Americans.
Yes.
If the gun is a penis, what do we gather by him fumbling his gun and it dropping out of his hands? Is that premature ejaculation? What is that?
Probably premature ejaculation, or maybe impotence, or...
Yeah. Pete, if you're still in the chat, tell us about impotence.
I wonder if you and Ford would be like, you're too penis obsessed for me.
Yeah, so my favorite line, though, is Eric Estrada goes, it was business. Because she's like, oh my God, it is you. You killed my father. And he's like, it was business. Nothing personal. Unfortunately, I take business personally. That is like a Leslie Nielsen line. That is not a serious line. No. That's a line out of like an airplane or police. No, I was gonna say police academy. That's not right. Police squad, Naked Gun. Like, that is such a spoof.
Yeah, that is exactly it. But right? Completely straight.
It was business, nothing personal. Unfortunately, I take business personally. So like, I don't know. I did think that this is actually really cool. We see Abe's stage show earlier on, right?
Yes.
Where he's got one of the gals in the box, he makes her disappear, and we watch how the trick is done. There's a switch in the floor. When he takes
Planting
a
and
step back,
payoff.
when he takes a step back, it drops the floor out. She goes underneath the stage, and then he can open up the box and go, oh, ta-da, she's vanished.
Yes.
I was like, okay, that's interesting, but why is it? That was set up and payoff.
Yes.
At the very end, when her mom is being held hostage by Eric Estrada, she does the same trick. The mom goes down the stage like The Prestige. I'm very certain the Nolan stole it from this movie. and then they can use a rocket launcher and blow Eric Estrada up. Not once.
Yes.
Not twice. Not 3 times.
She's
as
not
many
using
times as I like. 4
She's just like, this man killed my father. He does not get a pea shooter. He gets a full rocket launcher.
Yeah, I presume that's a rocket launcher, but I've never seen a rocket launcher that small, but I presume it's meant to be a rocket launcher.
It's like a mini rocket launcher.
Yeah, that still has 4 rockets somehow. I thought that was a great callback, right?
Yeah. It was. I did find it funny how the guys are still using the tiniest pea shooters, including when they tried to shoot the helicopter with the goons who were the cross-dressing goons.
I can only assume that's a comment that they have tiny penises, right? Is that an Arlene edition?
Yeah. I would think that. I was just.
Is that Arlene's subconscious commentary on her own husband that this is all small dick fantasy shit?
Now we're really getting into that.
Is Arlene still living?
Evidence for it. That's how we had in film school. You're just like, you have to have evidence. If you have enough evidence, you can prove anything.
That's true. That's right. I need Heather to tell me whether or not Arlene Sidaris is still alive. Could we get her if nobody else?
That would be amazing if we could.
Tell us about
She's
this.
just like MVP of this whole series is Arlene.
Yeah. When she's involved, the movies are better.
Yes.
That leaves me to one of my final questions for it, because this is going to be a quick one, because we're going to do this for the next 3 weeks. We'll come back, and they may get longer as we go on, as they tend to do. Where would you rank this in the movies? Is this like the 5th best, 2nd best, 3rd best, worst? Where is this as far as
I would say this is slightly above Savage Beach, and I would say this would be like 3 for me, because it's Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Then Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Then it's like a tie between. Actually, it is a tie between Savage Beach and Malibu Express.
Okay.
And then I think this would be the 4th or 5th one, actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I was going to say we're the same. I think that this is. Heather in the chat says Arlene is still alive. She's 83 years old, and she is the acting president of Malibu Bay Films.
Oh,
I think I got to write a letter to Malibu.
We need to fan letters.
I think I'd be like, Arlene, come on the show. Get your grandkids. Fire up the computer. Let's go. Get on FaceTime. We're doing this. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try before next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete, have you ever tried to reach out to Arlene? You never answered our question about impotence, though. Did you not hear that one, Pete? We're asking about premature ejaculation. Get back to us in the chat. He said he missed the question. Yeah. Okay, we gotta get a hold of Arlene. We gotta find her. I think this is Pete says, for the record, he wants the world to know he knows nothing about either premature ejaculation or impotence.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Good to know.
Good to know. That's Pete.
No shame whatsoever. It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Pete from Middle Class Film Class, which is heavily sponsored by Blue Chew. Draw your own conclusions, folks. I'm just saying, many people are saying it. I didn't say it. It could be true. It could not be true. Many people are saying it. I think this is the second or third best Sidaris film. Heather, where would you rank guns in the Sidaris? Because you have them all. You have like all 16 of the bullets, babes, and I always forget the third B. Bullets, babes, and
bombs. I think it is
bombs. Maybe, yeah. Heather says bombs. Yeah.
Yep.
Where would you rank this one in bullets? I was going to say champagne and bullets, but that's a different movie, And I'll have to have. Do you know what Champagne and Bullets is, Molly?
No, I do not.
Oh, I'm sending you that trailer. You're never gonna get away.
Man.
You're never gonna get away from me. I'm never gonna let you live your life.
No.
You're never going back to academia. You're gonna live in the gutter down here with the rest of us. Yeah.
I got my Cynthia Rothrock's collection. No way am I going back to academia.
Scorpion kicks or die, baby.
Yes.
She's got a new one coming out.
Woo.
Yeah. Let's see. Good question. This one is up there for me because it's so sideways bonkers. Top 5 for sure. I think when you've got like 17 movies that have basically all the same characters in them, top 5 is rarefied air.
Yeah, basically.
Pete says he knows nothing about impotence, but he knows a lot about the gutter, and life is fun in the gutter. Yeah, it
Very
is. Pete.
True.
It's fun to be a dirty boy.
It is.
And a dirty lady, and a dirty whatever you want to be.
John Waters has made an entire career out of that.
It's very true. Yes, very true. Yeah, if you had to give this movie Guns 1990 a score out of 5, and it's a relative scale, it's the Sidaris scale. What would you do? Where would you put it?
I'm probably going to do a 2.5, almost a 3, like a 2.7. But I'm going to keep it at a 2.5 on Letterboxd, but like really close to a 3 out of 5 right there. So, which is, it's still entertaining. It's still fun.
Pete knows where I'm going with this one. I'm going to edge a little bit, and I'm going to go 3 out of 5 stars. I'm going to edge you out a little bit, and you're down bad, but I'm going to be just a little bit higher than you, Molly, because I felt like I missed having these conversations with you, and I missed being in the Andy Sidaris extended universe.
I missed it too. I've been watching too many good movies. I need to watch some garbage.
Anatomy of a Fall, Anatomy of Donna Spear. That's what we need.
Yes.
Yeah. Substance? How about lack of substance? Let's get back to Molokai.
Yes.
I don't care what Demi Moore's going through. If you want to talk about unrealistic female body standards, fire up Andy Sidaris. Fuck
Getting
you, movie.
about a 3.5-hour movie about the American immigrant experience with the brutalist. No, we're gonna have fun with this.
What better immigrants to study than the ones who are trying to invade our country?
Woo.
Listen, Sidaris knew the Russian guy was trying to get the stuff from the computer guy who was having sex with his teenage stepdaughter. It was all there. It was all from Malibu Express forward. That it was there. American geopolitics was there for us to see it. We were blind to it because we thought it was all nothing but TNA. And he was guiding us on the path of truth. And now we can only see it in retrospect. That's why I got to get early on the pod.
They were angry at Jesus when he spoke the truth too.
I fucking love you, Molly.
My sister's gonna kill me. She's in a church choir.
You're just comparing Jesus Christ to Andy Sidaris. Yeah, they both have their disciples.
I think Jesus had a good sense of humor.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah. The log in the eye was a joke. People didn't get it. It was physical comedy. All right, folks. If Guns wasn't enough to blow your tops off, strap in because next up we got Do or Die. That's right. Andy Sidaris is back with another serving of senseless explosion, deadly beauties, and villains who look like they moonlight as Las Vegas lounge singers. Now here's the setup. 2 lovely Asians are being hunted by an endless parade of bad guys. Sound familiar? And this time around it's Pat Morita, yes, Mr. Miyagi himself ditches the wax on.
A real star.
Wax off for a villainous turn that'll leave you wondering why every evil mastermind doesn't wear a Hawaiian shirt. Of course, Sidaris brings back his signature babes and bullets and bombs cast with some slow motion beach jogging and more hidden weaponry than the average action flick could ever dream of. Molly and I will be back faster than a topless assassin on a jet ski. And trust me, there's at least 2 of those that are going to be in this next film. It's Do or Die next week. Follow Molly. Where can they follow you, Molly?
You can follow me on Twitter at raspberryraz.com.
And you can follow me at Binge Movies on X until Elon goes to the gulag. And then you can follow us at Binge Movies Lives.
I'm going to stay on that sinking boat till it fully sinks.
Until it's nothing but Russian bots.
Exactly.
The Russian bots need to be educated about any Sidaris, and I'm going to bring them the good news.
I am going with that ship.
Molly and I are Sidaris apostles, taking the good news to the mission field that is the X. So, yeah, that's it. Anything else, Molly, before we go?
I'm excited for the next one, and I think we're good.
I think we're good. I think we're good. Thank you so much for doing this again. Thank you for the handful of you who joined on YouTube. They couldn't get to the YouTube, but had some people here in the chat. Make sure you follow the stuff on Twitter and Instagram. We'll advertise when the next one is. We got to do some talking behind the scenes, and I'm going to try my goddamnedest to get Arlene on here before this is said done. Even if we have to come back after the 4 movies, we're going to schedule it. I'm going to get her ass on here if she's willing. So till next time, binge on.